So, a question for you. Would you rather have control or freedom? And when I say freedom, I mean mental freedom, ease, because you can't have both. Now, the thing is, control is a response often to fear. We're afraid of something, the unknown or an unpredictable future. And so we try to control things. Now, we usually do this through our minds. We usually either try to make plans that will create a certain outcome or goals, or we try to plan for scenarios, or there are other ways people try to get control too, sometimes by manipulating other people. But again, control is coming from a place of fear. And so if you're trying to control, you're not free. You're not free. Now, freedom comes from understanding that we have no control over many things, over most things, and being okay with it. And now, how do you get there? One might ask. How does one get from needing to control things or being obsessed with trying to control things to feeling free? Well, first, it's understanding that control is actually an illusion. Okay, you can keep trying to control things, but you actually are not. What's going to happen is going to happen is going to happen, no matter what you do. And you can, and a lot of people in the world are holding on very tightly, trying to control things. But ultimately, whatever's going to happen is going to happen anyway. So it's really, it's an illusion. So the first thing is understanding that it's an illusion. Now that scares some people. Some people think, what? I have no control. Okay. No, you don't. But so the other side of that, though, understanding that you have no control is freedom. Once we surrender to life, we can be free. There's also a trust that comes along with that, a trust that things are going to unfold in a way that's okay, that we can handle. We're always, oftentimes, we're creating catastrophes in our minds, worst case scenarios. Well, if, of course, we were dreaming up catastrophes all the time, then we would want to do something to try to prevent them and control them. But if we're actually letting go of the catastrophes, meaning if we're seeing the catastrophes as being daymares, which is what they are, they're just daymares, like dreams that we're dreaming up in our minds and scaring ourselves with. If we actually see that these catastrophes haven't happened and they probably won't, then we're safe. We're safe in the present, in the here and now. If you apply this to a work situation, a lot of people might, worry about, um, let's say, being terminated, being laid off, right? And that could happen. It's actually could happen, but it's the way we scare ourselves with the scenario that's not helpful, right? So think about all the things that someone might do to try to keep themselves from getting fired. They may go above and beyond. They may like fall on the sword of workaholism. They may, stay up all hours of the night answering Slacks and emails to please the boss. They may do all sorts of things out of fear in order to try to control the outcome. Now, this is not to say you shouldn't want to do a good job at work and show up and do your best, but you can do that and also respect yourself and your limits and your boundaries. Or you can completely throw boundaries out the window and kill yourself trying to prove yourself or keep your job, which is what a lot of people end up doing. And so those are the two examples of what I'm talking about. Control, again, you're trying to control through overworking or through, being invaluable, being, not expendable. doesn't guarantee that you're not going to get laid off. That could still happen. In fact, I see it happen a lot. It doesn't necessarily matter how hard you work or how well you do at your job. It's a numbers crunching situation. So, but if you're free, then you really show up. You can show up and do your best and put in your time and put in the effort and want to do a good job. But at the end of the day, not kill yourself, because ultimately you have no control over this outcome. It's going to happen or it's not. And your health is more important than trying to protect yourself against some potential threat that, again, it's a future threat. So it's imagined. It's not real. It's not a real threat. It's a possibility that you're dreaming up and then trying to control through your actions. So I'm just putting that out as an illustration of how, we can either have control. Control sometimes means not respecting ourselves or trying to again, manipulate others or manipulate outcomes, which is really a lot of effort, which may not actually get you the outcome you want. It may, but it may not. There's no guarantee. Or you can live your life in the present, showing up and being the best person you can, but also drawing a line between what you can control and what you can't. And what you can control is the effort that you put in and how well you do your job. What you cannot control through overworking or through extra effort is whether or not the layoff happens or what other feared outcome there is. But living in freedom is such a nicer way to live than living in fear and control all the time, constantly trying to protect yourself from these unwanted scenarios, which may or may not happen. So that's just my 2 cents for the day and something to think about. Where might you be trying to control outcomes? Where might you be like harming yourself in the process? So, all right. Well, I hope you have a wonderful day.